Yeah. Hi guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Finally.
Finally, after months of planning, we made it.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful day today. It's actually, you can call it summer this time in Norway.
Yeah, indeed.
So we are hiding here in a lovely shadow by the water and
Yeah.
we can have this little conversation.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you invited me. Some of you know, I'm Tommy Nordpole. Or
Yeah.
you can find me on my social medias, of course, YouTube, Instagram. And you can say I'm one of the street photographers here in Oslo, Lillestrøm, and in the area. Besides of doing my solo work, I'm part of the Oslo Street Photography Collective, and I also write some articles for the photobreak.net.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for your questions. What do you want to know?
All right. Thank you for the introduction. What made you fall in love with street photography?
I think I started like some of the street photography long before this like Fujifilm camera, and when I actually realized that what I'm doing is a street photography, it's like when I photograph even with my Canon cameras, when I get a little bit tired of the landscapes, little bit tired of the portraits, little bit tired of the food photography, I was going for all the genres up to the point when I started to photograph a cityscapes. And then I think slowly and slowly I started to photograph people and try to get a human element in the photo.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit awkward about it, so I was trying to avoid people in my shots. But later I started to incorporate people more and more into my photography. Some people say the street photography, it's like when you don't have a person in the shot, when you don't have a person in your frame, then it's like not a street photography. And it's hard to argue, but like street photography, it's a very wide subject right now. It can be some human influence in the landscape of the city. It can be small persons in the shot. It can be the street portraits. I do quite a lot of street portraits lately. I even made my small photo project about it. But like street photography, what got me into it really, it was like going freely around the city and discovering new places, new areas, finding these little hidden gems in these situations, photographing people and coming back home and reviewing these photographs and actually enjoying it.
Yeah. What story are you trying to tell when you go out with your camera?
That's very interesting because I think about it a lot. Some people look for their like photographic style or something like that, like the message they want to put through. For me, it's very much different. Like every day can be a different story. Every day can be a different adventure. So like today on this beautiful hot summer day, it can be a story about like this beautiful hot day in Norway that it's quite rare. And I ask myself a question: how you can photograph the heat, how you can show it in your photographs. On the other side, on the winter time, I think my projects can be a little bit more personal, little bit more intimate. When you have like a lower mood, you ask yourself totally different questions, and I think it goes very much through your photography. I think my one, you can really tell like, you know, what my feelings were when I was like photographing these moments, this couple of images or this little story that I put together. But I don't think there's like a bigger story behind it, or maybe there is one that I'm not fully aware of. Maybe the story of it is like I said before, our lives and how different variety of our lives can be.
Nice answer. Do you think street photography has rules, or does every photographer have to create their own moral code?
There are some people who gonna die on one side of this question and on the other side of this question. I'm a person that usually try to navigate somewhere around the center. Because there are days when I'm going very, let's say, like classical street photography. I go to the city, I photograph the people in their everyday situations, I look for the interesting moments, some juxtapositions and other stuff like that, and then I'm coming back home with this footage and I'm, okay, this is street photography. Another day, I'm going a little bit abstract. The people are in my reflections. The people are in the reflections of the windows, in the water puddles. I try to be a little bit more creative with it. And then I ask myself, okay, is it still street photography, or we should call it just urban photography? So it's very hard to narrow down this set of rules. From one hand, it would be nice to be strict about it, but from other hand, why should we constrain ourselves so narrow to, to limit ourselves to the point when everybody gonna shoot basically the same kind of thing? Because when you go on social media, like all of us, and you see the same pictures over and over again, they are technically good, the light is fantastic, but you've seen this picture over and over again, and you are like, okay, all of us are on different level of this photographic journey, and probably this guy is on this level right now. He likes the shadow, hard lights, silhouettes, and it's hard to judge. Like I said before, we are such a random human beings. All of us, it's a little bit different or hugely different. So like setting a hard set of rules, that's difficult. Like I said, I navigate somewhere in the middle, going to these extremes once in a while.
Like when I'm out photographing, I have this anxiety of taking pictures of people, and they will not like it at all. They kind of feel I'm maybe invading their privacy somehow. How do you get past that anxiety? If you understand what I mean.
That's a very personal. I think like it's very much dependent on. It depends a lot on your moral compass, I believe. There are some people who gonna put the biggest flash on their camera and they're gonna go BAM right in your face. And there are people who gonna choose their longest zoom and they're gonna shoot from behind the corners. It's like, for me, it always need to have a little warm up. When I go to the city, it's a good exercise that many of us do. You go to the opera house and there you snap a couple of images over there. Because people are so amazed by the building, they hardly pay any attention to the photographers. So you can snap a couple of photographs there, maybe get even a little bit closer. And then when you get this kind of warm up, when you get yourself familiar with the people around, with pressing the shutter button, being 1 meter next to other person, then it gets you a little bit more. Then you have a little bit more courage to do that. But this anxiety never goes away, I think. I have some days when I'm going behind people's backs and just snapping pictures, and I'm like, okay, it's not the day, and that's fine. Maybe you can do some other photographs that day. There are some days when I'm absolutely inspired. I go to the people and I ask them for the portraits. And I'm surprised that like 99% of people, they always say yes. They can ask a question, why? And I can say, because you look so good. And that's it. And then they start posing. You take one picture, second picture, then you exchange the Instagrams. It's like, it's easy as that, really. And I always forget about that when I'm going out from my apartment to shoot. And I always feel like a stranger in the streets. But after a short while, you can lose that, and you can photograph the people freely. And very rarely I had some moments when actually someone approached me and was really angry because I took their photograph. It was maybe 1 or 2 moments, and one of those I did not even took a picture of the guy. He was just some annoyed person on the street. He saw the camera and he was like running to me, you took my photograph. I'm like, man, I didn't even notice you, leave me alone. But from other hand, I'm not a fighting person when it comes to keeping my photographs. When someone comes to me and like screaming me, please delete that picture, I'm showing the picture, I'm deleting the picture on the spot, because it's not worth it to even have that memory of this angry person being angry about that I took a photo of them. I have some photographs that I took in the past when I was like starting with the street photography that I'm not proud of it. I even posted it. Maybe I should even delete it, because whenever I look at it, I don't see a good photograph. I see this memory like, okay, that was a person who really didn't want that photograph and I took it, like I was a kind of jerk back then. But it's each to your own. It's like your moral compass needs to guide you, and that's it.
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
How do you, as a photographer, look at AI-generated photos?
It's very difficult to think about the AI because, the way the Photoshop and Lightroom came to our lives, especially Photoshop, when the Photoshop was like available for every single Joe around there, everybody said, the era of photography, it's done. Now you can do everything in the Photoshop. And here we are, still photographing, still doing our craft, portraits, street photography and everything else. And like, it didn't kill our world. And I think the story with AI gonna be exactly the same. After a very short like hype about it and all the AI generated, polished, beautiful pictures, people gonna get tired of it. And that's gonna be not the end of it, it's gonna always stay with us, but people gonna look more for the authentic work.
Yeah.
That's my statement. We just have to live through this like horror of this like new thing that everybody misuses or use it for the wrong reasons, and there's a lot of good reasons as well. But eventually people gonna look for the authenticity and especially for the, let's say, raw photographs from like street photography, and gonna get interested with something more real. There is a huge trend going back to the analog photography, or some people buying even like very simple compact cameras, and I think people want this authenticity.
Yeah, they need it.
There's gonna be the group who gonna always use AI, and there's gonna be the group who gonna stay with something more real, and that's how it's always been, I believe.
Do you shoot the JPEG or RAW, and why?
I think like, yes, JPEG, definitely JPEG, all the way JPEG, because like I said before, I did had my story with like, let's say, more like passionate, almost like pro photography, and editing RAWs was a very tiring process, I would have to say. If you do, of course, some wedding for someone, you need to be absolutely sure that these files are as flexible as possible. You're gonna go RAWs on your professional cameras. But I think for like everyday street shots, the JPEGs, especially from like Fujifilm cameras, that was something that really got me into it. The simplicity of it. You go there, you choose your profile, or how you call it, simulation, or the Fujifilm recipe. You shoot it, and they are basically pretty much done from the camera. The one thing you can do, maybe adjust the blacks a little bit, or like darken or brighten the shadows. That's it. One adjustment, then it's ready, and you don't have to think about it. Oh my God, I overshoot today. I have 500 images on this card, all RAWs. I'm gonna choose like 100 of it, and then I'm gonna have to edit them. This is out of your head. I think like I try to make it more and more simple, and like in a way less is more. And I think that was all about this camera, like have everything in one pocketable size that I can take everywhere with me, throw it in my backpack. It doesn't cost tens of thousands of dollars. Actually, I have a second one if this breaks, so like I'm good.
You have a spare Fujifilm.
I have a spare. Okay, I'm gonna break it up. I bought one that was already used, and I shoot so much with it that after 2 years, it was so much dust on it, it was devastated. So the last day of my first Fujifilm X10, I took it to the color festival in Oslo, where they throw the colors at you. And I did a photography over there in the crowd, and it was all with the colors, and that was pretty much the last day of my first Fujifilm X10.
It was a sacrifice.
So it was a sacrifice, but it was the good end for this camera. So then I of course bought a second one, pretty much in mint condition, like never used. Somebody bought it like a wedding gift for someone, and it was on the shelf for like 10 years. And then I got it pretty brand new. And then I bought a third one that I keep in my safe for my older days. So I'm pretty much secured with my amounts of the Fujifilms. But what I said before, it's a simple camera, but it's an advanced camera in a way. When you know how to use it, and less is more. You can say that. I thought this camera gonna be a limitation for me, and it's absolutely not. It limits amount of the unnecessary things you plan to do with your camera.
All the noise.
All the noise. It narrows it down to opening the lens. That is actually like starting the camera as well. And if you have your settings right, you're pretty much ready to take a photo. And that's it.
What role do you think photographers will have 10 years from now?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I think our role not gonna change that much. I think like I said before, maybe this authenticity factor gonna be a little bit more important when you're gonna use like some older cameras that cannot be like AI enhanced, and you know somebody wants to really do a documentary on something, some like report that cannot be easily edited or like or faked in a way. So maybe then it's gonna be like many of this like photography gear we have right now, it's gonna be used for like documentary purpose, depending on what is gonna happen. Because like right now you can take a photo with your smartphone with some third-party AI app, and this photo gonna get changed in a split second to something beautiful, fake or different, and beautiful, and it's good for people who use it. But for us photographers, it depends on what you're gonna do. For street photographers, I think we're gonna stay pretty much the same. Of course, we're gonna explore different areas of street photography, but I don't think we're gonna use some like modern AI cameras to photograph the streets. Because like I think in my heart is like the street is this like raw, authentic moments. You can find these moments, you can, you know, search until you find them, but they are still like authentic moments that you're gonna capture on your cameras, like, you know, simpler camera, better camera. But regarding of like jobs for the photographers, I don't know what to say. I think like in these days we are living, even right now, these are the most photographic times we ever lived on the planet. And right now, having like some modern smartphone in your pocket, everybody is a photographer and videographer if you're gonna do some practice and if you're gonna have some passion and some talent for it. So that's very hard question to answer where we're gonna be 10 years from now. I can answer just for myself. I think I'm gonna be still here documenting with my Fujifilm camera the city of Oslo, Lillestrøm, Strømmen, Fjellhamar. I think I'm gonna stick to this area for a little bit.
Oh, nice. Good answer.
Thank you.
If you could teach every photographer watching this one thing about street photography, what would it be?
One thing. I think I would teach them how to be a little bit more open in a respectful way. How to photograph people, but also how to approach them and make a connection with them. So you're not gonna be this awkward person stealing the shot and running away, but like you can actually make a connection with the person even after taking a sneaky shot. Because I had situations like that where first you take a very candid shot, but then you wait there for the person to look at you. The person look at you, first you have this like curiosity, then it's a little bit shock, and then it's fight or flight, and then actually you can meet together, you can have a little chat, you can show them the photos, and then actually this turned so many times into like some beautiful conversations I had on the streets that you would be amazed. I think that would be the one thing I would like to teach everyone, to be more open in a respectful way and do this beautiful craft that we do on the streets without breaking this concept of taking candid images.
We maybe talked about it. What makes a moment worth photographing? How does your head compute that when you're just walking into a situation, and what kind of gives you the feeling of that I have to take pictures of this?
Many times we as photographers, it's a hunch. You know it when you see it. Many times it's like sometimes when you take your camera outside and you're like, okay, today I have a day off, I'm gonna do street photography today. And you go there and there's nothing. And the harder you push, the more you feel like, okay, you're gonna format your entire SD card when you go home. And the moment you actually stop looking, you stop searching, you're gonna start finding. It sounds a little bit weird, but the moment you put your camera in your backpack, you're gonna say, I'm done for today. Your brain gonna be like, and then some moment gonna happen. Many times for me, it's very simple, but it's some lettering on the wall, some like message, some word, and then I see the person, I see the moment, and my brain is like click, 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 doing the connection, and I'm rushing for my camera.
Yeah.
Or like something very unexpected that comes to the scene, and somehow my brain it starts to like connecting this like street elements all together. Oh, that would be great with this, and then you pick up your camera to your eye level, and then some unexpected even moment happens, and then you grab the shot, and then you get a couple of shots like that. But many times it's a feeling. You see something, it looks beautiful, or it looks strange, it looks like puzzling, and then you feel like, okay, it would be nice to photograph that. Many times when we do this, probably many photographs like me have some partner, some wife, some girlfriend, and you walk together, and many times your partners are a little bit tired of you photographing all the time, and I think many of us can relate to that. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I see that moment and I know it's gonna be an annoyance, but I'm still taking out my camera, I'm photographing, and then I'm trying to explain, you see.
She's like, no.
It's sometimes, the more you do it, the more you are like aware of the situations, but many times when you don't look for it, then when it happens,
Yeah.
and it's like absolutely important that you have your camera on your side, and as easily as that, you can just open it, take it, snap it, and you can decide later if it was worth it or not.
How has street photography, what has it done to your mental health in a positive way?
In a positive way.
Yeah.
Of course, it's like many people say that, and I agree with that. It's like a small therapy. You're in your own bubble with your camera. You have time to think. You have time to explore, and something maybe not that much unique. What I think it is, but you can be a little bit more empathetic. You can be a little bit more empathetic about other people as well. In a way, you can see reflection of yourself in other people around you when you go in the city and photograph, and that can give you some perspective to realize what is good, what is bad, in which way you can navigate your life. Because going to Oslo, you can see the full spectrum of like rich people, young people, old people, homeless people. It's everything there, and having this little quiet moment with your camera, going through the city, you can have some certain thoughts and realize how good your life is, or like what you can improve in your life actually. So that's like a small meditation that you can do with your camera, but it's not always have to be the city. You can come to a smaller town, or to you can go to the forest, you can go to the field, and like take a couple of nice quiet images just for yourself, and cut yourself out from all the noise that is there.
Yeah.
I think that's what it can do positively for your mental health. And like a little bit from the negative side, don't pick up the camera to compete with the others, because that can put you in a very bad spot when you try to be better than the next person, and you're gonna watch other people's pictures, and you're gonna take this camera with like this pressure and stress to be better, to photograph better, because that's gonna be very bad for your mindset and mental health. So there is a spectrum of it. You need to just take it for the right reason, I think, and do it for the good thing.
Yeah. If someone struggles with the depression, you recommend buying a camera?
Yeah, absolutely. And more than that, the camera often can make a new connections with the people, or some people that are interested with the same things as you are. Like I mentioned before, I'm part of this Oslo Street Photography Collective, and that's a group of beautiful, supportive people that you don't have to meet every day, but if you meet them 2 or 3 times during the year, you can see that there are people who have similar struggles, or they love the same things. You can just, in a good way, you can find out that you are not that very special when it comes to the bad things and to the good things, and it gives you it gives you the feeling that you belong to some part of community that have the same hobby, the same passion, that look at it the same way or maybe even more interesting way than you. It can open your horizons. It can give you some motivation, some positive feedback in a good way. So even if you want to do this alone or with the group, I think both of these are very good.
Nice. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. That was a very nice experience. I don't do that very often, and it was absolute joy to meet you and have this a little bit one-way conversation, because I was the one answering the questions.
Maybe I can be the next time.
Yeah, maybe next time we can do a small podcast when we both gonna have some questions to each other.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Because street photography, it's not I think it's not one person perspective, and that's what is beautiful about street photography and photography in general, that everyone picking up this camera gonna have some very personal view at things. Yeah,
Indeed.
that's it.
Yes. Let's go and get some ice cream.